Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, I don't think I have my audio set up, which is a great way to start a stream. Give me 2 seconds, everyone. That's why. Now we're good. Double check, double check, double check. Mic check, Noah check. 1, 2. It is Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, August 14th. Welcome for my favorite 30 minutes of the day where I get to monologue about the craziness that's going on in, as I said, the crypto space. Yay. Ah, crowd goes wild. Okie dokie. So what's going on? Last night, Curve got released by not the Curve team, and whatever. That is some serious questionable key management, private key management. But besides that, it is mania. This is straight up mania. For folks, most folks that are probably ever listening to me haven't been around since 2016, 17. I've been around for many years, and this is exactly a similar feel, a similar sentiment than what occurred back in the ICO craze. Uh, it is a waste of time and effort and extremely dangerous, especially when you don't have any experience. You put 5 grand into something and it gets cut by 50%, you're losing money. Now, the most important thing you could do in this climate is to protect the crap out of your gains and to make some cash. Because Bitcoin and Ethereum, there's a highly speculative assets, and they're going to make the moves. They're going to make the real moves. So stop putting big bucks into Curve and Balancer and Comp, and it's absolute insanity. Who's in the stream today? Did you better just nibble, my man? Captain Weber in the house. Woo! Kyber, yeah, I'm going to bring it up today. Kyber's good. Kyber's good. Kyber's back in action. Michael's in the house. My man, always a pleasure. Good to see you. Hope everything's well. Bada, yeah, yeah, SB, good morning. All right, let's bring it over to the main screen. Let's check it out. So I got Acro up. Acro is a good deal, but you got to be careful because it's lower than 100 mil market cap, and I don't overwhelmingly like assets in that territory. Now, if you drop it down to the 30-minute, you'll see the play that I did. I had about 2 million acro playing up here, and I probably got about 10-15%. I saw the second it broke the sim triangle to the downside. It tested previous resistance flip support. Somebody, if they were watching the chart, this was a good deal right here. Someone got a good deal, and the way you would have seen it, obviously, is the guppy turning gray, which goes horizontal, and then boom, it turned green. So I just grabbed the position just now, small position, maybe 40,000 acro. Um, I don't. At this point in time, the way the market feels to me, I'm not necessarily going to be putting in big positions of the altcoins. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum and the macro plays, the big deal plays like Cosmos is a big deal play. Um, if you're into Elron, Cardano, or the large caps, this is where those or even the old school UTXO plays. This is where those types of assets I think are going to start to. Um, they're more stable. They're more reasonable. They don't have mania associated with them. So that's where my mindset is. I don't want to be involved in mania. I have no interest in being involved in mania. So check it out. So this is the deal with Curve. These boys, I'm going to be getting 15,000 Curve over the next year. Now, Curve was like $50 a token. Can you imagine I get to sell this thing for $50 a token? Nah, man. The inflation is 2 million tokens a day. I was been able to offload a fair amount. I probably made like an Ethereum overnight. Yay. But do not buy this. It's inflationary. It's inflating at a rate of 2 million tokens a day. Now, if I've taught you guys anything on the stream, it's that sound fundamental monetary properties are the most critical to consider. Is something inflationary? Is something deflationary? Is Bitcoin is decaying inflationary? Digibyte's decaying inflationary. Kyber is accelerating deflationary. Ren is decaying deflationary. It's either slowing or accelerating. The curve has 2 million inflation per day at minimum. So this thing is extremely inflationary. The value of the asset will substantially decrease over time. Now, bear in mind the macro narrative for governance assets is cool. The problem is general public has no idea what they're doing. So the point from an investment perspective, a speculation perspective, just don't get involved in this. It's just going to be a big mistake. They have no idea why they're buying this. I jumped in the Curve channel and they're buying. Like, is this going to go up? And you can imagine the commentary and you can imagine the thoughts going on in my mind. I left the channel. I can't look at it anymore because there is no reason for this to appreciate. There is absolutely no reason for this asset to go up in price. There is all the reason for it to go down in price. Everything points to a decrease in value. It is an inflationary asset. Listen, I'm telling you right now, if you want to buy this asset because you want to participate in Curve governance, that's the point of the asset. By all means, go ahead. But if you're buying it to actually profit in some way, you are going to lose money. You will not profit. Now, the only reason I'm interested in it is because I get Curve continuously. So let's see. So you saw it at 1.62, and now I got 4.14. I could grab this, I could dump it on the market. So for me, it's a different perspective. Do not buy this stuff. Do not buy this stuff, please. I'll close that. I had to submit a ledger claim. What do you got? What do we got? What's going on? So Acro is cool. Why? Look at the daily. Take a look at the daily. No, I want to look at the weekly. Whoa. So the daily were green. This is nice, but that's not enough for me. This is what I want to see. I want to start seeing these guppy averages start to turn green, and I think that's what we're gonna see. Was it what I saw on the daily that I was interested in? It might have been on the 4 hour. So well, bat off here. Check this out. Look at the bullish divergence. Well, it's really not a divergence because everything is just bullish. So it's not gone into oversold territory, and it looks like the MACD is going to flip for a bottom, and that's a good sign. So where was what I saw? I literally had a narrative that I wanted to talk about before I jumped on the stream. All right, I think it was more so Kyber. I think here, this is what it was. The daily has retraced, and I think this is going to flip around here. So that's the bet. So you can pop the $1,000 in here. Let's see what happens. If this flips a bottom here, this could break out right there. Whatever. I don't know. It's too low. Here's the problem. For me, this is too low a market cap asset to really get a feel. And I don't want to take any risk to the downside with Bitcoin and Ethereum about to do what they're about to do over the next 1, 2, 3 years. So I minimize my risk. I want to maximize my rewards. I want to be extremely picky to buy and extremely fast to sell. Michael says, well, let's go. Felipe says, is it possible to claim Kyber rewards at a later time? Yeah, just hold on to your Kyber rewards. Listen, Kyber is not pumping out big rewards for the DAO right now. Listen, if their volume goes 10x, 100x in the next couple of years, now you're talking about some decent rewards. But for now, not a big deal. But the big thing about Kyber, so I'm not. So the governance is nice. It's nice to have the centralized governance. But the thing about Kyber is the incentivized supply disruption and the burn, which are extremely deflationary pressures. And that is why Kyber's monetary policy for their governance asset is so meaningful. Kyber is a governance asset. Kyber fits the same description as Comp, BAL, and CRV. That is the bottom line, except they're 100% distributed already. They're completely out in the wild. Now, this is the deal with Kyber. Kyber looks really good. So Kyber on the daily, notice all the bullish action in the green. We've never hit red bearish action. And we're in gray right now, and we just had a big rip to the upside. So I expect a little bit of a pullback on the daily, and then look at the weekly. Woo! We just turned green. We didn't hit oversold territory, so this is flipping. This is going to start moving up again. So the guppies are green. Guppies are green. We're bullish on the trend for the Stoke. MACD, upward sloping. This thing's going to do a continuation from the weekly perspective. Now, bear in mind, you can have a 20, 30, 40% retrace on the daily. So, you know, don't take my words as like this thing's just going to go up. You have a 30% retrace on the daily, but that's a well, how does that fit into the weekly larger picture? And that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right here on the weekly chart. So if it drops 40% for the daily and it's up 100% for the week, who cares about a 30% drop? And that's the bottom line. And this looks good. Well, what I like to see, we're way above this orange support line. It's a massive support. We're way above the 200 EMAs on the daily. And I like the gray guppies. I like this nice breakout above the gray guppies, which means these gray guppies are going to start to turn green. Let's see how far the Stoke pulls back on the daily. That's what I'm quite interested in. Maybe we get to the 60s, low 60s, and then we rip up. And that'd be nice. It'd be nice to break this double top. This should have been a sign real quick to jump out with a double top. But check it out. We on the short term, as you see the charts that I have up, or the drawings that I have up. So I was more into these. I was looking too short term, and that was a flaw of mine. Although I did pretty good. I did pretty good with this trend right here, this trend formation. But one, two, that's a fat double top if you look at it from a large enough time frame, and it pulled back. It pulled back to where? Pulled back to support. And this orange line is multi-year support. If you pull back to the weekly, you're talking about multi-year support over here. Look at that. Multi-year support. Cross here. All right. Michael said something. I want to get to it. Look what happened with Compound. A lot being said, what could happen to the price of Curve. Curve is going to get destroyed, my man. It's going to be a buck. Curve is huge. Curve is a ridiculous platform because it has basically zero slippage. It deals with the stable coins. But from a governance perspective, yeah, I don't know. These governance tokens I would never buy them. I have absolutely no interest in buying them. If you're buying them, you're totally giving into, not you, Michael. You've been around, but other folks, more so probably. Anyone who's buying this stuff is like it reminds me of 2017 ICO craze. They're just buying garbage. They're buying anything because it's on Twitter. So, Curve's gonna go 10x. Yay, crazy! Get in now. Buy now. Do yourself a favor. Don't buy it. Just don't. Please do yourself a favor. What do we got? Clicks in the house from India, my man. Always a pleasure. What was it? Was Wazerex? I've heard of it, but not something I'd be touching right about now. I'd look for a market cap. I'm not touching anything unless it's 100 mil market cap anymore. I just have no time, and I'm not taking the risk. Not taking the risk. So yes, I took a KNC position this morning. What did I get? I got a little something. I bought 656, and I'm gonna. So I still have Kyber up. I'm gonna edge in on the daily as the Stoke starts to come down. That's what I'm gonna do as it comes down. I'm gonna buy small, probably smaller than I just bought. Bear in mind, gas prices are ridiculous, so I have no idea. I don't know specifically what I'm gonna do, but I think I'm gonna start buying, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, as this Stoke starts to come down. That's what I want to see, because on the weekly, this looks way too good with the Stoke with a rounding bottom and the guppies turning green, and just this looks too good. You catch an upside 100, 200, 300%. If you got a 5 chip in there, that's a nice gain. And that's nothing to sneeze at, folks. Folks looking to turn $100 into $1 million, it's just you're going to burn yourself. It's just not the way it works. And the truth is, and if I help teach anything, is that money makes money, and you have to have money to make money. You can turn 10 grand into 20 grand, and that is a massive, massive, massive win. And that is 100% on your money. That is something that it should not be understated of how significant it is. It takes a long time to save up that amount of money. And it's almost impossible to make those types of gains in the legacy financial system. You're not making 100%. Maybe nowadays, with the ridiculousness of the way the equities markets are, you can make 100%. But it's not to be expected. And the fact that you could do things like this in the crypto space makes it special. but you have to be extremely careful. You have to be very picky to buy and very quick to sell to protect the gains. And that's with these altcoins. So bear in mind, the altcoins make massive, massive volatility plays. But then you're liquidating to Bitcoin and Ethereum because the narrative of those boys is hundreds of percent gains over the next couple of years. It's not going to be thousands. Maybe you get 1,000% in Bitcoin, and maybe that bad boy is going to go to like 100,000, 200,000. So there you go. So maybe that is 1,000%. But the point is, if you could get 100%, it's a massive amount of money. Now the trick is that you really have to accept as reality means you got to work. You got to find jobs and you got to go back to work and you have to accumulate money. 100 grand and you're able to double your money. That is a massive, massive win. So stop trying to turn $100 into $1,000,000. It's not going to happen. That's my whole point. Michael says, I agree. I would never buy Curve. James is in the house too. My man. It's a pleasure. I hope all is well. Really do. Never buy Curve, just earning Curve. Sure, earn Curve. Great. If you're providing liquidity to Curve, that's great. Curve's a ridiculous liquidity pool. There's almost no permanent losses. Now, I'm really excited for Bancorp V2 as that platform emerges, but it's not where it needs to be right now. You can't necessarily provide liquidity. There's uncertainties and unknowns about the reliability of the platform's functionality. V2 that is, not V1. But I have no interest in permanent losses. I'm not going to take on that. But I mean, as you can see right here, I got some nice gains from providing liquidity to Curve when Ren BTC launched. So I gave them a fair amount of liquidity back 2, 3 months ago. So this is going to be worthless. In the next couple months, this is going to be worth a couple $100. You know, right now, I was selling Curve last night for $50 a pop. It's probably $10 right now. It's going to be $1, and that's going to be 10 cents. It's going to be a tenth of a penny. So whatever. Don't waste your time on this stuff. You're going to get your gains from Curve in the form of, look at that. In the form of, you get the incentives. Like, here, check it out. My favorite is the SBTC pool with, I mean, look at the incentives. SNX Ren, oh yeah. BAL is worthless, but I want the SNX. Synthetics and Ren, no doubt. Ren is a decaying deflationary asset. Synthetics is interesting. So Curve wanted to pull off a synthetics, but unfortunately, synthetics, those boys are really good. Synthetics is an inflationary asset, but because of the SNX SUSD mint mechanism, it is an incentivized supply disruption. So cumulatively, overall, big picture, it is a deflationary asset, or at least it has extreme deflationary pressures, supply disruptive pressures. So that's really cool. So synthetics is ridiculous. It's on a tear. It just goes up. I think it just goes up. Is it over $6? Synthetics is $5.57. Like 20,000 of these at 70 cents. Oh my God, synthetics is crazy. I think it just goes up. Now, bear in mind, I don't have a synthetics position right now. All I have is synthetics that I gained by minting SUSD. Since then, I've exited my synthetics position, and now I just have the synthetics that are in escrow, which I cannot not buy nor sell. Technically, if I wanted to, I can mint SUSD with my escrowed synthetics. But the problem is, then I got to deal with these gas costs, so I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to hold on to my synthetics, wait for gas costs to subside, or whatever the hell it's going to do. I really don't even want to participate in the markets right now with the way gas costs are, and I'm not into centralized exchanges except Bitfinian, Alquell. Go get him, Jared Gray. I'm keeping you know what I'm keeping my eye on right now? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Blocknet, StakeNet, Raiden, Loopring, uh, yeah, yeah. Who else? That's what I want. I want to see a big macro market disruption. And I think the UTXO getting into the DeFi craze, that'd be crazy. And I think that's going to be achieved between Blocknet, StakeNet, I mean, even Lightning Network, because StakeNet is involved with Lightning Network as well as Raiden for their second layer solutions for Bitcoin and Ethereum on the StakeNet DEX. Now, that is UTXO trading, which incorporates ERC20s because of Raiden. So it's some serious software. I've seen it, I've used it. Now, BlockNet's just gorgeous what they're doing with the Light multi wallet. And listen, and BlockNet had a Twitter post the other day talking about Syscoin as a second layer solution. Syscoin is a crazy second layer solution. It's cheap, and Syscoin is merge mined with Bitcoin, so it's really crazy. If Can you imagine if BlockNet, Syscoin, StakeNet, Raiden, Lightning Network, and JellySwap got the web app, the Web 3, or the D app user interface? Can you imagine if all those boys just talked and figured this shit out and got UTXO assets into the DeFi craziness? It would be crazy. It would change everything because all the equity is in UTXO. The equity is not in Ethereum. There's $200 billion worth of equity in the UTXO space, which is huge compared to what's in Ethereum. And all this DeFi stuff has been Ethereum. I'm missing a lot of the comments. What do we got? What do we got? Captain Weber says, have I looked at Iris? Listen, Iris, because you only get traded on like Hotbit and a couple of different exchanges, that's something I'm just not even looking at. I bought it. I have it. I love it. I think it's going to be a major component of worldwide blockchain tech, particularly vis-a-vis the BSN and China and that whole large narrative that I've explained and you guys could probably see at this point. So Iris for me is a buy and forget. It's not like Acro where I'm looking at the charts. I buy, I'm going to sell. How much am I going to buy? I don't even know. Even Kyber. Kyber is like, I'm trying to buy as the daily pulls back on the Stoke. So very different. Iris, buy and forget from me. Everyone has to make a choice. Don't just do what I do. Make your own choices and own decisions. And maybe you want to look at the charts. Maybe you're buying on Hotbit and you're going to trade. And you're going to watch the charts and the Stoke and the MACD just as I do for a lot of other assets. So you all have to make your own decisions on how you handle this stuff. Rocco Reed says, which indicator is that you're using with the guppy? It's just a guppy. Just a guppy. Here, let's look at Acro. It's just the super guppy, the CM super guppy, and I got the Stoke and the MACD. That's all I need. That's all I use. Ren and DOS. So DOS, isn't that Oracle? Isn't that an Oracle? I don't know. So Ren's crazy. Ren just goes up. I mean, Ren literally, take a look at the daily and the weekly is all I care about. I mean, this thing is just. Thank you, Ren. Thank you. So Ren is the holy grail of solutions cross-platform, cross Polkadot, cross Cosmos, cross Elrond, cross Cardano, cross Ethereum. It's just, this is the thing that brings everything together, and there is absolutely no other product in the entire crypto space that does anything like this. Ren is a systemic disruption like Chainlink, albeit Chainlink has some competition now, none of which are going to disrupt Chainlink. Band isn't going to disrupt Chainlink, but Band's going to be big because it's on Cosmos. And Cosmos is China, and it has that entire macro narrative going for it. That Ren chart is crazy. Wow. Wow. Where we got? Bitcoin's at 11,800. Woo, yeah. Can you show us how Atom is doing? Atom is a buy and hold for me. I'm not even looking at the price. So check it out. This green line right here is crazy. This green line right here is part of a symmetric triangle dating back to June of last year. A massive, massive symmetric triangle. So look at this. Look at this breakout. This is a massive, massive breakout. This is like 30%. And this thing, I mean, I don't even want to look at the price. I'm just going to let it sit. I'm not even going to touch it. I'm just going to watch it go up over the next couple of years because I think Cosmos is going to be just as big as Ethereum, and I think it's going to be just as important as Ethereum in the global network of Turing-complete smart contract platforms alongside Polkadot. And I have a feeling that all of them are going to start to pick up some steam. I think Elrond and Tezos are going to have meaningful parts in this whole global system. I don't know, Neo, the BSN picked Neo. I have no idea. But Iris, smart contract platforms like Cardano, I don't know. Cardano has no smart contracts. What is it? I just said smart contract platforms and Cardano in the same sentence. No, it doesn't have any smart contracts. So maybe, listen, Cardano's cool. I talked about it yesterday. There's no reason to own it right now. It doesn't do anything. I'll buy it when they launch smart contracts and they actually have developers developing D apps, Web3 apps, because right now all development is on Ethereum. There's a lot on Cosmos. Polkadot is up in the air because, check this out, there's only a couple, there's a little bit of real deal Polkadot going on. You got Edgeware, Kalupa, Kusama, obviously, the Canary Network, and Polkadot. But there's no real liquidity for these assets. And but Akala's up, and Akala will work with Ren, and it's gonna build. If I'm gonna bet on any Turing complete smart contract network picking up steam, catching up to Ethereum, it's gonna be Polkadot and Cosmos. And I like the way Elrond, the folks that are beyond Elrond, I like the way they talk on Twitter. But they really need some interoperability. They need the equity. They need the Bitcoin equity. Elrond needs to be talking with Ren right now, and they need to execute. Um, and so does Tezos. If they want to have, there's a bunch of others, but those are the big ones that come to mind. Anyway, um, uh, that was Felipe asking about Atom. Click says Syscoin. Syscoin's a big deal. I've had Syscoin for years. I've had a Masternode for years. If you had $1,000 to play with, where you put it, you have to make that decision, my friend. Is it possible to have Ren Masternode pay out in the UTXO? Ren pays out in the asset it is exchanging. So when Ren DGB is added, you're going to get payouts in Digibyte. Run to get Ren. I wouldn't run to get anything. Do not run to get anything. If anyone ever watches me, please, you be picky. Picky, 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 picky. Very picky to buy and quick to sell. Look at this. This is a perfect example of what happened yesterday with Acro. So I'm watching this chart. I'm waiting on this giant, multi-day sim triangle to break out. It breaks out. I got like 2 million Acro. I make like 10, 15%. I'm selling up here, I'm selling here, 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 here. It falls down. And I probably have got about 40% of the position left in this minor symmetric triangle. The second the symmetric triangle broke down, probably around here, I was out. And look, it fell down all the way to here. And here's the kicker. A person's going to feel like, oh, I missed out. It went up to here, and you made a mistake, like you missed out on something. No, you did the right thing by selling here because it was a breakdown and you didn't have a trend formation. Listen, here's what's most important to learn. If it broke down here and you sold, and it instantaneously bounced and went up 10x, you shouldn't feel bad. You made the right decision because there's always another bet. It's all about risk reward. Protect your gains and bet when there's a trend. Look at this. This is the trend. This is the trend you want. And then you take your 10 grand and this is where you make your money. And then you're out. Picky to buy, quick to sell. Because look at this. Is this really drop? Look how this thing moves. No. I'm not playing this thing. Look at this move. Look at this. How do you play this? This doesn't happen with 150, 2, 3, $400 million assets. Can't play this. And there's no trend formation. Bear in mind, look, fine. If you want to play it, you got to wait for a ridiculous trend formation. Look at this trend formation. There's a 6-day, 7-day, 5th, 8-day, an 8-day symmetric triangle. Sure. Let's go over a couple minutes on time. I'm having fun today. What do we got? John says, Noah for president. Ren Polkadot, watch out, F Network. Woo! John, my man, I don't know what kind of DeFi stuff you're into today, but just be careful with this Curve garbage. Please don't buy any Curve. Polkadot and Ren. The Ren already did Ren BTC on Akala. So Akala is what, a synthetic asset or, like a stablecoin asset for or that's what they're working on for Polkadot. But bear in mind, Polkadot is kind of still in development, and there's the parachains, but how many parachain slots are there? And that network and the functionality of the network is still being built out. It's not a functional network yet. It's really damn close, but for the love of God, stop buying Polkadot ERC20s. What are people buying Polkadot ERC20s for? Polkadot is a network with assets unto itself. So if you get in Polkadot ERC20s, it's because the asset isn't available yet, and the team making the Polkadot project is like, oh, we want to get an asset out, so they're minting an ERC20, and they'll probably have to have an ERC20 to Polkadot asset swap. So it's just silly because there's like 100 something projects on Polkadot, and not all of them are going to be probably accepted as parachains. So you're speculating. If you're buying Polkadot ERC20s, you are speculating and you're taking risk. And on this channel, we advocate for minimum risk, and there's risk associated with Polkadot ERC20s because Polkadot has an asset and the parachains will have their own assets. You're buying an ERC20 that has nothing to do with the Polkadot project. I'm just getting that out there. Just saying, just saying. I want to provide liquidity for my Bitcoin. So you go to WBTC Cafe, or you can just go to the Ren Bridge. So WBTC Cafe. I've done a couple of tutorials. If you want a better tutorial than mine, you can find DeFi Dad on YouTube. He's going to give you a better tutorial for the WBTC Cafe and the Ren Bridge. You convert your Bitcoin to either WBTC or Ren BTC, and you throw it up on Curve in the SBTC or Ren pool, and you'll provide liquidity and you'll get gains. Now, bear in mind, these are not. It's not like you're going to turn a Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin. I'm just telling you that right now. Money makes money. You're going to get 5, 10, 15%. You know, if you want the real numbers, you go over to the stats page. Whatever. I don't want to wait for it to load. There. You go over to the stats page, you get 5% per year. No, monthly, weekly, total APY. You get 2.2% per year. For the SBTC pool and for the REN pool, you get an almost 4.5%. So that's the deal. This blows the crap out of banks, and that's the whole point. This destroys the legacy banking system. These are products that the legacy banking system will die to have because they can't get 5%. They're borrowing and lending money from the central banks at 0%. They have no way to pay anyone interest for checking accounts and savings accounts. But look, all of a sudden there's a lending and borrowing over collateralized, risk minimized protocol available in crypto space where there's almost no risk in lending. There's zero risk in this lending system. And you could get 3, 4, 5%. This is real deal percent. And you could take out an insurance contract. What is it? Nexus Mutual. Nexus Mutual. So you take out an insurance contract if you want on your Curve. Next, here's the URL. Click back in the video for that URL. And you have an insurance contract for your Curve position, and there you go. And now you're getting 3, 4, 5%. So you're not going to turn a Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin. That's not the point of yield. The point of yield is if you get $1 million and you get in 10%, you're making $100,000 a year sitting on a beach in the Bahamas, doing nothing, but you get 100 grand a year. That is the whole point of dividends, of yield, of REITs in the legacy financial system. That's what you got to do. And money makes money, and you got to protect your gains, folks. Stop trying to get 10,000%. It's just not reasonable. It's not going to happen, and folks are going to be disappointed. CRV, yeah, based. YF link. I need sleep. John, don't do it, man. John is based. I'm happy. I hope you're doing good, and I'm sure you are. I don't have time or patience for that stuff. So short-term trading, are you trading manually 100% or do you use the API? No, my short-term trading is I don't really do short-term trading. The shortest term trading I do was this acro play, which was like 4 days, and I waited 4 days for a breakout. That's about it. Otherwise, I'm tempted to get back in the Bancor. Tempted. Where the hell did my Here. And KNC, I entered a little bit of a position. Did I? I did buy a little bit of acro. I bought a little bit of acro. And look what happened. You see? This is what I get. I bought a little bit of acro. You know why? Because I saw a bit of a cup and handle. Bloop, bloop. But look at this dip. Yeah, what a waste. What a waste. I have no idea what's going on here. So bear in mind, so the reason I do have somewhat of a reason not to just evacuate the position and go for more reliable types of plays is because what is acro? And this is where I go back to like fundamentals and the story of what it is. So acro is basically like Insta DApp or DeFi Saver or Zapper Fi. This is what acro is. Acro, and they have their own, I believe, their own assets. So there's going to be an incentive, and that's cool. So they're trying to do a DeFi play, and that's what acro is. The problem is they're too small right now, and that's why they are susceptible to this ridiculous volatility. I don't want to. Here, check this out. Price range. I don't want this kind of volatility. That's a 6% dip to the downside. No. Yeah, 6%. I'm not. All right. Let's go over the comments real quick. Where can you buy Polkadot? You're not going to be able to get your hands on Polkadot in any reasonable way. You don't know the max supply. You don't know the emission. I don't know. I know nothing about Polkadot with regard to the information I would need to know in order to establish a reasonable position. Way too speculative. No interest from me right now. I'd have to wait. Cosmos is another story. Cosmos is absolutely out of this world. I absolutely love Cosmos. It's one of my favorite positions. Macro narrative of China is way too big to ignore. Rocco says there is always another opportunity. If you miss out on something, take your profits and exit and be excited about finding a new opportunity. My man, you hit the nail on the head, and that is the bottom line. Quick to sell, picky to buy. How much of your whole portfolio would you risk with your LP? Not much right now. I was excited when Curve first launched the SBTC pool and the Ren pool. I would risk nothing right now because Bitcoin's about to rip to and take me to retirement heaven. So bear in mind, then I have a different strategy in mind, and then I really need a Nexus Mutual insurance policy. And my goal really is, as I've always told everyone, recurring revenue streams. I want Kyber 5%. I want the Ren pool. I want 5%. And if you have so let's say I have $1 million making 5%, it's 50 grand a year, and let's say I want to replace my current salary, I want to replace like 100, 200 grand a year. That means you need $2 to $4 million, ladies and gentlemen. So you better start saving, minimize your risk, don't risk your gains, and that's the point. Because if you lose your money, you're not accumulating. You got to accumulate, and that's the only way to get to the amount of capital required where 2, 3, 4, 5%, 10%, if you take a risk, is going to be able to sustain your livelihood and replace work, where money works for you instead of you working for money. You got to be realistic. Don't fall into the damn curve. I got to buy Curve. It's going to $100, and meanwhile it's going to go to $1.10, and you're wasting your time. Picky to buy, quick to sell, be smart. I got so many charts up, I don't even know where to look anymore. I'm going to end it on Ethereum. See, this is why. This is why you got to be so picky to buy. You're going to get into these alt assets. Meanwhile, Ethereum is at... did Ethereum just rip $20 while I was on this stream? I'm going to get off this stream, and you guys go confirm that Ethereum just ripped $20 while I was on this stream while we're talking about altcoins. So this is exactly why you got to be picky to buy, because you're going to miss this. And this is the one that counts. This is the macro narrative. Last comment I'm checking out. Purchase cashback in Storm from different stores over the world already included. I'm not quite sure. Storm. I remember Storm. Yeah, Rocco said yes, it did. Wow, $20. So can you imagine if we just put a big position in the Kyber? No, this is why you edge in. Let's look if Kyber did a retrace. No, it still looks good on the weekly. Oh, it did. Look, it dipped a little bit. It dipped a little bit. Let's check it on the daily. All right. Looks good. Looks good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 12:40 on a Friday afternoon. I thank everyone for another wonderful week. We've had craziness in DeFi, craziness with the Curve, DAO, token, CRV release. Don't buy it. And it's always another exciting day. And I thank you very much for joining me where I get to talk about what I see and all the stuff that I observe in the markets. It's always a pleasure. And I will catch you Monday, 12 noon, like clockwork, baby, because that's what we do. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Protect those damn games. Protect those damn games. Don't buy those yams. Y'all have a good weekend. Peace.